complete. It's OD, you got me, it's OD. Baby, you're all that I need. No one can be what you mean to me. Boy, I know you need this.
Steve, did you ever find yourself not sharing some of your happiness online because you knew she was watching your page and would probably cause some drama out of spite? Well, I just opened my page probably within the last year and a half.
Yeah.
And absolutely, because unfortunately, when you're in a battle, right? You're in a parenting battle and you're fighting for your time and you're fighting to keep your coins. People point to social media, right? Yeah. And so it's an unfortunate thing that, you know, you can't truly share on this platform that everybody's sharing on, understanding that it can be weaponized, okay? And so for a long time, you know, I was keeping it close to the vest. And even, you know, in court, stuff would be brought up about what was on social media, you know, and you know, if you share something with your child, and I'm not sure if any other parent feels this way, and it's so jacked up that you're hiding stuff from your child because they're about to go back to the other parent's house and you don't want them to know, right? Whether you buying a new house or you about to go on a vacation, and all of this stuff. And so absolutely was hiding. And if I'm being totally honest with you, my brother, so much of my steps was considering the other person, right? Which is it's not a comfortable place to be in, right? And I have so much more perspective now, right? Now that Cam's 18 and I probably could have been a better version of myself, right? I don't want to say that, okay, Cam's 18, I was like perfect for 18 years, okay? I was a mother too, probably, especially when I feel like I got to battle, right? I got to win something. And when you're locking horns with another co-parent and it's a back and forth, and when everybody's trying to win, the child's gonna lose every time.
But I want to add something to that, because I don't want anybody, especially women, thinking that they man not posting them is okay because they trying to battle. He was still posting me. We were still together. We were still very open and honest, and we were popping out. We was, you know, we were doing all the things. It was not no hidden relationship. I think a lot of people try to use, you know, like, no, you heard what Steve said. He said, you know, because that's what I'm doing too. I'm in court. And that's why,
anything that would be considered expensive or showing stuff like that, I did. I did. At
the end of the day, I heard this on a podcast. I don't know which one because I listen to so many. That's what I do while working. But they believe that men like to brag, okay? And a man that's keeping you close to the vest and ain't talking about you and, you know, won't go to certain events with you, won't post pictures with you, all of that stuff, I'm gonna go on a limb and say he ain't all the way about you. And if you already taking care of his kid and holding him down in court and stuff, I'm gonna say pump your brakes, okay? Because that reassurance that we in this thing together was very necessary in the very beginning. I needed to know, which is why, you know, he had his process on me seeing Cam, but I also had mine. Like I knew that I would lock in on him. That's what I knew that. I knew that once I met him, that would be my kid. He's mine, and we break up, and I'm still over here talking about, well, can I pick him up for ice cream? I'm not about to be this person.
And it was 5 months of intense dating before you ever met him.
Oh, very intense, you know. And we're talking about him, and we're planning for him, and we're planning for us meeting, but it wasn't no immediate play date type of situation just to go to that. Yes, he had to censor some things, but it wasn't our relationship, and it wasn't about posting me at all. So I just want to put that out there.
And I'm going to say one other thing, and I'm going to let you go here.
Okay.
All right. And one other thing, because a lot of time, from my perspective, it's easy for me to say the guy and protect the single dad. But to the women, it's very important, too, that the man that you are with, that if he's going through any type of custody, anything with his child, that even in that process and you want to be down for him, you should absolutely feel like he's still protecting you.
Yeah.
Because there's another side where the guy can be needing you. Yeah. And you could be a crutch. And it's for you to decipher between that, right? Like, is this guy, is he rocking with you but protecting you in these battles and moments, or is he leaning on you and needing you, almost like, I'm sorry, but like a mom, right? And so, just something to double check, right?
Yeah. So Mallory, her situation done pissed me off.
Oh, here you go, baby.
Where's my wife?
There you go.
I done read this, got a whole attitude, okay? So, her baby daddy was married, talking about he's separated and just stringing her along. Mm-hmm. And she's young. Yeah. You know, what? Don't make me mad. And so I could see, now that's the type of stuff I can understand that. Yeah. I can understand you being bitter. I can understand you being angry. I can understand you dropping the baby off at his job. Like, you know what? Yeah. You know, I get that. I understand you taking him for child support. It totally makes sense. It's the flip side of things when I see my husband going above and beyond for his son. Like, I mean, more than I've ever seen any dad in life. Yep. Okay? I'm talking about my dad, uncles, everybody, okay? Yeah. To have to go to court to fight for time. It wasn't even so much, I mean, well, it was about money too, but it was about parenting time. Yeah. She wanted to take time away from the father, and that blew my mind. Yeah. Because yes, bitter can be like, no, you can't pick him up early, or no, I will not help you on that day. You got to work late. I get that. Whatever. That's petty. That's kind of bitter. That's just a little petty. That's like, I'm not going to make your life any easier for you. I get that. But to be like, I'm going to take you to court and say that you aren't a good father, when I know for a fact you're probably the best father she's ever seen too, I'm like, oh, this is different. Yeah. This is something different. So Mallory, I commend you on extreme growth, extreme self-awareness. Right. And I am just so happy that you have found love and you're in a healthy relationship and you're striving on all fronts. I'm just...
Cheers to Mallory.
Yes, cheers.
Cheers to Mallory.
Wait. Somebody is drinking my wine.
I got the whole bottle over here. Don't worry about it. All right, so look, Chris is here. And I'm going to segue this into something else. And this is true. Wow, I forget about some of the stuff, but that's a good thing about having friends that do not forget your trauma. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for reminding me. It was a good Vegas trip till it wasn't.
I know.
Jenny, Stevie used to tell us not to send him, basically not send me Cash App or Zelle.
Don't give
if we're at a restaurant or bought rounds of beers and everything, and I'll tell you why, okay? And I'm going to segue this, and I'm going to transition to something positive after this trauma.
I'm getting
okay, so what's crazy is this is crazy, and you know how much Vegas costs. So let's imagine in Vegas, I'm like having everybody send me the money for the tables and everything. So it could easily be $10,000, $12,000, $13,000, right? The referee, which I won't say her name, at the front of the court, decided that she was going to use all of my electronic funding as income. So even if Chris, my boy, send me $1,000 a piece because we got a table for the 2 Chainz concert, that's income now. So please, words to the wise, just be very careful, because the friend of the court ain't no friend of ours, man. Okay? And so, man, that almost made me lose my train of thought. Let me see if I can even remember what I was about to say, because I was trying to transition to the positive, man. Wow. Thank you, Chris. But that's what's crazy, that it can take you off your mark, right? Because if you're preparing so much for like court and stuff like that, it really takes you away from the energy that you should be deploying into your kids. But let me say this. Yes, I got it now. Thank you. And I think it's also very good to set the example too, because even though we might not have had the most pleasant experience dating from the other side, I remember when I found out that she was dating, right? And I could tell, we were actually at a track meet, quick story time, in Virginia Beach, because Cam was running at like nationals. He was a track kid. And he was like, I kind of knew it already, but he was like kind of talking and like going, we're in a small hotel room, just me and him. So going like talk to him like, so I'm like, oh, what's up, son? Like, who was that? He told me, it was the guy. And come to find out I knew him. He's actually like a great dude. Like, I love this guy. But my energy was everything that like, oh, that's cool. Like, oh, no, I know him. Oh, no, he a good guy. So a lot of the time, I think you have to be the example and not like kind of, I don't want to say stupid, but like you don't want to show any negative energy, even if it's being shown your way. You want to keep it positive. And we 10 years now in this, right? So how this is just our perspective and what we've been through, man. Like this is just what it is.
So somebody said, Vera, I see it now. Thank you. It says, my son is going into his senior year and he started dating. How do you all manage that without being too strict? Ooh-wee. Also, how do you all manage the drama that goes along with these teen relationships? Girl, this is wine. You might need to get the liquor.
No, baby, no liquor tonight.
Because what? Yes, we are knee deep all up in that.
In that, yeah. We in that.
And for the sake of not, put my baby's business out there, I will say that it's tough. It is very tough. And I think that one of the toughest parts of the entire dating scene now is that while we're not that far removed, I feel like, from high school, it's totally different. I mean, just the fact that they got friends that are only online, that they've never really met, or that they are, posting things for the world to chime in on about their relationships and all of that stuff, right? I think it makes dating 10 times harder. 10 times harder for these young people. So giving them some grace and being a listening ear and all of that stuff is where I'm trying to be. And I'll share this, that I just recently had a conversation with our son, and he had to check me a little bit. And he was like, I don't like the way you're talking about old girl. And it wasn't that I was saying anything negative about old girl. Okay, old girl, if you and your mama. I was being a mama bear. I see what he's pouring into the relationship. I want to see I want to see her receipts. Let me see what she's saying to you. When last time she bought you something? I was being a mama bear. And it quickly made me have to regroup. Yeah. Because I think that I remember my mama bearing me, and I just thought it was overbearing, and I thought she didn't know what she was talking about, and I immediately shut down on her. And that's my worst fear with my children. Right. I want my children to come to me in the event of anything. Yeah. I don't care if you think you'll get in trouble. All of that's out the window. We'll deal with that later. Let's deal with the situation at hand. And dating with these teenagers, you have to think back to your situations. I remember feeling like I was in love, right? And nobody could have said, no, you're not. Yeah. And so I try not to be that person. I try not to say, no, you're not. I try to lean into it and ask questions and help him get to what the final decision is. And I see my baby's wheels turning. Like when I ask him a question and he like, oh, shoot, I never thought about it like that. I see it. Or, he say he feel effort or whatever. And I say, well, did she do this, this, and this, and this, and this? Yeah. These are things to exemplify what effort really means. And then that gets his wheels turning. Oh, she ain't getting none of that. Is she showing effort? I'm not trying to say she not showing effort. I'm going to ask the question and hopefully you get to the conclusion. It's kind of where I'm at with it. And it's very, very tough.
Yeah, it is.
It's very, very hard. I'm in a space where I'm like, just listen to me. You know, I want to show you the way. I don't want you to make any of the mistakes that we made. Yeah. And you got your mama, your daddy, and me who will all talk to you very openly. And I didn't have that growing up. So I try to just keep the lines of communication open and honest and allow him to be vulnerable with me and allow myself to be vulnerable with him too. Because I think just a little backstory, my mom was married early, had kids young, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, we not the same. we don't have anything in common. And I was thankful enough that she was like trying to prevent me from doing her wrongs. But what I really wish that we could have had was her kind of telling me, you know, your body is a temple. Don't every person that you sleep with, you take it with you. You know, they baggage. Or if she told me how much my worthiness was of love and respect and honor, I think that I would have had a lot less pitfalls growing up. So I try to be that. Mm-hmm. I try to just love on them, have open dialogue with them, ask questions that lead to specific conclusions and go from there. But it's very, very difficult. Yeah.
And it's something that definitely that I've had to adjust to, because the reality for you, Vera, is that he's about to leave, right? So you have to loosen your grip, right? Because she wants to know about kind of rules that we follow, right? Yeah. And so there has to be a transition from kind of being this like micro manager, parent, overbearing parent, to a macro, to a friend, like a transition. Yeah. Because after he graduates, he's going to, you know, be able to make more decisions, right? That's just what it is. So being more suggestive, for sure. And I'll give you an example, like, how was your date? You know, this and the other. Okay, cool. And if he gives you anything that you don't agree with, you can always be suggestive in it. Whereas, really? I would have thought you would have done this. Yeah. Okay. Right? Versus anything will make him retreat. The other thing that I found very helpful is that when your friend, and whether it's you or whether it's somebody else or an uncle, when you're able to get him around his peer group, right, and have like conversations, because a lot of parents aren't cool. A lot of parents are just like, they trip, right? So if you're able to have those moments where y'all can have like a kick session and allow his friends to say, yes, yo, your mom is actually like super cool, bro. Like, she was spitting game. Whether he wants to admit it to his homeboy or not, it's going to plant seeds, you know? And so that's all we really can do. You know, we get worried, we get scared. Shoot, we moving Cam in this weekend. I know. Right? Like,
I mean, what the Bible says, train up a kid, right? We training them up because they about to be gone. Yep. And we hope that when they come back, they done got in that Rolodex of things that we poured into them and showed them. But I had to kind of talk to him about loosening the reins, right? Yeah, but at the same time, we could be talking about washing dishes, and I'm like, in life, I'm going, hey, we gonna get this life lesson in there because wait, what? I think it's also important to realize that up until your child is about 12 or 13, and I think psychologists actually have research about this, but up until about 12, 13, your kid is believing everything you say. Their values are your values. Their beliefs are your beliefs. And then they kick in to starting to try to see the world for themselves, seeing it through their own lens and making their own decisions. And you got a shorter amount of time from 12, 13 to 18 when they go to college or get out the house or whatever to really try to instill and shape who they are going to be. But if we're being honest, how many of us, look at the fireworks, okay? I don't know. But if we're being honest, I know that I had a big transition going to college, and then I had another big transition going into adulthood, and then I had another big transition going into my 30s, and then another big, so you're going to continuously fine tune this thing, and you're going to make mistakes. We're just trying to lessen the number of mistakes.
Yeah.
And I think that some parents try to act like that they were holier than thou rather than giving them the real.
Yeah.
Like, I tell my son, like, listen, lost in the sauce was a person, it was me, you know, but now this is what I gained from those experiences, and this is who I've become because of those experiences. And I challenge them to think about everything. Two things I ask them all the time: does this bring you joy, and will this have a positive outcome? And some things in life are not negative, or they don't really disrupt your happiness, but does it bring you joy?
Right.
And I think that in a lot of our puppy love sessions, if we would have just thought about it like that, we was never in love.
Right.
We didn't even know what was going on, and no, they weren't bringing us joy. They were fulfilling a little void, you know. And I try to say that repeatedly to him so that he can start to ask himself that in tough situations. Is this bringing me joy, and does this have a positive outcome?
Right. And this a follow-up is, how would you all tell your children if you feel like you have to step in and draw the line, and you feel like the relationship is being too toxic? And I think you had a good example, is just kind of being transparent. One thing that I try to do if I see something, right, because I have an 18-year-old, we have an 18-year-old, and I struggle, but I share stories, right, of when I was younger, right? It's the best thing that I can do of where I may have failed, or a friend, a story where I'm not sure of the toxicity here, but let's give an example. Let's go really toxic, where it's just a girl that's just like doing the most, and my homeboy at a very young age had a baby by her, or this, that, and the other, right? Like, I share these stories, right? And I'll say, hey, Cam, I want you to remember this one, okay? And so that's all we can do, though. All you can do is be suggestive, share stories, spend time, you know. These are the things that we have to do.
I know.
Because this is what I had to come to grips with, and I need you to too. We can't make them do anything anymore.
Yeah.
Can't make them, right?
But one thing that we are pretty good with, unfortunately, is only on our time.
That's right.
But a lot of times you get into mess because you're in the wrong situation, or you're out too late, or you're able to be able to go any and everywhere.
That's true.
And there are parameters that we put in place, like, he does have a curfew. The other day he wanted to go see Drewski. I said, that junk is on Casual Hopper or something.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Never, okay?
Yeah.
Like, so there are some things. You're still in our household.
Yep, for
If
sure.
you go be buck wild in college, please, Lord Jesus, please. But if that's going to be your prerogative in college, that's going to be something that you deal with on your own.
Yes.
While you in this house,
Yes.
we still have rules and regulations and parameters in place. So if it's a toxic girlfriend where, I got to share this, my nephew, my love, another teenager, was falling asleep on the phone with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
I thought that was the most toxic thing I had ever seen in my life. I thought it was crazy, but I couldn't say it. I was biting my tongue off. But I had to ask him, why do you guys do that?
Right.
Who suggested that? Do you like doing that? Like, just trying to get his wheels turning, because I thought that was a very possessive thing. Like, I need to see you on FaceTime until you fall asleep, and we go wake up next to each other. What?
Very much like a blankie.
it was too toxic for me, and it drove me through the roof. But asking the questions and doing all of the things, but also setting some parameters. No, baby girl can't go in your room and with the door closed. No, she can't come over here at 10 o'clock at night. You know, like, it's just certain things that you still have to keep your hands on as much as possible, but at the same time, knowing, and if you was anything like a teenager like me, you gonna find your lane. So as much as you can set the example, as much as you can talk to them and keep it open and honest, and you know, like he say, yeah, did she kiss me on my neck? You can't be like, she kissed you on your what? Like, she kissed him on his neck, girlfriend. They is in a relationship. Like, let's talk through what that means, what that can lead to, what are the consequences of if it goes past that. Let's talk through those things, but you can't be mama bear on every little thing.
And you got to game plan yourself. You gotta go into it like you getting your mental ready for those conversations, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you do a good job with that.
So sometimes I have to just bring the wine.
Yeah, for
to his
sure.
room. Like, what is happening? Okay, what happened now?
Yeah, for sure.
Lay it on me. I'm ready.
Yep. And I don't know, Vera, if you have him like all the time, right? Which is what you kind of mentioned, like that's great, right?
Yeah.
We also we only have Cam half the time, so that's different than our two little ones where we have them 100% of the time, right? It's just going to be a whole different approach.
Yeah.
You know, we got more.
It's
all right. We gonna do a few
Vera
more.
trying to stress me out too, because guess what?
What's up?
She said her daughter's in high school and went through 2 boyfriends in the past year.
Yeah.
This dad right here will faint, die, be slitting his wrists, okay, if that happened with his baby girl. But
I'm a girl dad now, but I only got a 2-year-old.
As a girl, like, you gotta know, what does being in a relationship mean for them? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this, we was kissing and humping? Was you hunching? Or was you just like carrying each other's books to class? Like, you got to understand what the level of the relationship is before you start to really bust out in a fret.
Yep.
And then I also think that it's important for her to understand what commitment means and to know what she should expect out of a boy who thinks he gonna be able to call her his girlfriend. You know, I teach a lot about access. I tell Kim all the time, everybody does not deserve access to you. Everybody who has your number should not get a pickup on the first ring, should not get a text back. That's access.
That's right.
And I think that is a grand privilege that should be earned.
Yeah.
Just like trust.
Yeah.
You know, so in teaching about that process, I think that she might be like, all right, hold up.
Yeah, but I'll also say this too. I imagine with my baby girl, right? We got an 18-year-old boy with another cast is 6, and baby girl will be 3 next week. But I will not play around with what she considers a boyfriend. And what I mean is that if she considers somebody a boyfriend, please believe he is going to come around all the men that love her. And he is going to feel that Uncle Chris, Uncle Tone, Uncle Ray, everybody knows that this girl is not to be played with.
Yeah.
And this is serious stuff. So I would never, ever, I imagine, right?
Yeah.
Because it's definitely different having a baby girl than boys. That if she considers a relationship to be something, then I'm going to make sure that my presence is known. And I'm going to make sure that all the men make sure their presence is known. Yeah. So that boy knows that this is not like any other girl, even regardless of what my baby girl says, if she love him and she ain't gonna get married, he gonna always be seeing this face and remembering this.
And I'm not no normal Bob. Like, okay, I see you, my love.
She said, I'm stressing.
I know.
All right, what we got, Chris?
Oh, Vera said make an episode. Okay, we got a game plan now and now.
Yes.
But Chris says, how important is it for both of you to change the narrative that Black fathers are second tier and even worse fathers in comparison to other races when it comes to their relationships with their kids? Statistically, this is something that I've been reading, that the Black man that is involved in the child's life is more likely to change a diaper, is more likely to play catch and be the coach of Little League, is more likely to actually be present. The problem is that statistically, it's more of our counterparts who are still in a relationship, are still married, are still together. So the narrative that Black men are not good fathers is a terrible one, and we are absolutely very involved in changing that landscape. But I don't think it's about them being terrible fathers. It's about the difference if they're present or not.
Right.
And I'm really in deep prayer that everything that we're doing, that we're being used by God, like we're being used as a vessel to show you how dope marriage is.
Once again, thank you for joining us for this live special edition. I'm so sorry. The battery ran out, so we had to cut it short. But that does not mean we have to cut the conversation short. Let us know what we need to discuss, whether you want more co-parenting, whatever you guys want to discuss, we're here for it.
Oh yeah. And this stuff is so fun because now I'm 10 years in a game and we can laugh about it. I was on my knuckles. I was like, who else is going through this? You don't have to go through it alone either. So join in on the conversation and let us know, what do you want to hear more of?
And just remember, it can be chaos in the beginning, but those times can lead to such a beautiful relationship in the future. We are finally here at season 2, and we could not have done it without any of you.
We're talking all stages of relationships, from dating to courting to marriage to reaching that forever status.
We are bringing all the true stories to the forefront, and guess what? This year we're coming back bigger, better, and stronger, and it's all because of all of you.
So stay tuned for what we're going to do next. We are on all platforms at I Am Finding Love, and be sure to subscribe to our website at IamFindingLove.com.
And do not forget, tune in each and every Friday as you keep asking us questions and we keep delivering the answers.